Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. Hope you guys are staying safe. Guys, smash the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Share the video. Guys, really thank you for your support over the years. Keep smashing that like button. As you guys know, it really helps. Keep leaving a comment in the comment section as well. Really helps the algorithm. So smash the like button and leave a comment. But yeah, let's get into analyzing the fights of the weekend. I'm going to analyze all the main fights that we had. We had Jaime Munguia beat Jimmy Kelly in 5 rounds. I saw this fight, watched this fight. Before I get into this, before the fanboys of Jaime Munguia jump on me and, because that's what I notice in the comment section, you get fans of certain fighters. This is my opinion of observing. You don't have to agree with it. Leave a comment in the comment section on your opinion. But this is my opinion, right? I thought it was a really poor performance from Munguia. Apart from the 3 knockdowns in the 5th round, I thought he looked terrible. He was getting outboxed. Jimmy Kelly, if I'm not mistaken, Jimmy Kelly was beaten by Liam Smith. Munguia beat Liam Smith, but Jimmy Kelly isn't a top tier, a middleweight by any stretch of the imagination, right? He can box. He's a good fighter. He's a warrior. But for Munguia to be getting outboxed the way he was getting outboxed, the way Jimmy Kelly was making him miss, boxing beautifully, and making Munguia look average at certain times, I think it's a definite worry. This is a guy, for me, Munguia, that I don't think's really improved. He looked better in the Rosado fight. I'll tell you why he looked better in the Rosado fight. He looked better in the Rosado fight because Rosado came to fight. Rosado likes to have a fight. Munguia is a fighter. Hence why when I've said Charlo would beat Munguia, I know what I'm talking about. I'm not biased. I'm not this, that. Charlo would beat Munguia, which I'm going to make a separate video about. Munguia called him out. But Munguia is a very, very limited fighter. He loads up on shots and people say, oh, he's getting better. He's not getting better. He's not getting better. What I've seen so far, even the DAZN commentary were bang on. The rounds are slipping away. Now, he ended up banging out Jimmy Kelly, but that was always going to happen. Jimmy Kelly wasn't going to last, and he was always going to get him out of there. But let's be brutally honest. The fight that we saw, he was getting outboxed by Jimmy Kelly. And that's what it was. And it's nothing to do with the fact that if you put a good boxer in front of Munguia, there's a reason why Munguia don't want to fight Andrade. He don't want to go anywhere near that guy. Because Andrade will box the head off Munguia. Imagine if Jimmy Kelly was doing that, what Andrade or somebody with skill would do to Jaime Munguia. Munguia's got a lot. He's raw. He's raw. He needs to be polished. He's not a great boxer. He's a brawler. And he's all right with guys like Rosado that come to fight. If you come to fight with him, he'll have a scrap, he'll have a war, but he lacks boxing fundamentals. And if Jimmy Kelly is outboxing you, there's a problem. And he was getting conclusively outboxed. He was also being made to miss a lot. I wasn't very impressed with that performance. And I'd like to know your guys' opinion, because you guys are probably going to say, oh, Imran, you're hating, you're this, you're that. I'm not hating, I'm saying the truth. I'm saying the truth. If you're a fanboy of a certain fighter and you're fanboying Jaime Munguia, then you ain't gonna see those flaws. But if Jimmy Kelly, who a lot of people, by the way, I respect all fighters. A lot of people will say Jimmy Kelly's a D level or E level fighter, or C level, right? If you're getting outboxed by him, right, and it didn't matter because he knocked him out anyway. But we expected him to knock out Jimmy Kelly. A lot of people were saying this at Cherry. A lot of people were saying it's a poor fight. And really, apart from knocking him out in the 5th round, he got made to look pretty average. And people may say, well, it doesn't matter how you look. It matters if you win. No, it does matter how you look against that level of competition. When Canelo fought Yildirim, he took Yildirim apart. That's when an elite fighter fights a guy that's on a much lower level. He bangs him out. He didn't bang him out. He struggled. Like, Jimmy Kelly's not Liam Williams. He's not even on that level. And he made Jaime Munguia look pretty bad in there. You know, if Jaime Munguia comes up against a good boxer with a good jab, Jaime Munguia's in serious trouble. Serious trouble. You know, he lacks serious fundamentals, loads up on shots, is wild with his shots. Yeah, I can see why Oscar De La Hoya is protecting him and you know, getting him these type of fights. I can understand why they're avoiding Andrade. I can also see why they want Charlo next. I think enough's enough in the sense that I think Oscar De La Hoya knows now that he has to get him a big fight. And he probably thinks that someone like Charlo, he's got a better chance because Charlo does stand and fight at times. So he probably thinks he's got a better chance against Charlo than he has against anybody else. Which I'd probably give him a better chance against Charlo than I would anyone else. He certainly ain't beating Golovkin and he ain't beating Andrade either. You know, so yeah. I think any boxer, any good boxer, anyone that can box and move is a nightmare for Jaime Munguia. That fight against Jimmy Kelly showed me everything I need to know. Yeah, I wasn't impressed. And I think Jaime Munguia is a fighter that if you come and brawl with him, that's dangerous. You probably have a chance of losing. But if you come and box with this guy's clueless. Like I said, Jimmy Kelly's not a top tier guy. Right? He's a good boxer, he can box, but he's not as good a boxer as someone like Andrade. Imagine what Andrade would do. He boxed the head off Munguia. And Munguia isn't even that powerful. He's not that powerful, really. He's not a big puncher. Not a huge puncher, not a middleweight. I think Munguia is going to have to add wrinkles to his game if he wants to be successful. Look, it's quite clear why Golden Boy have been protecting him. It's quite clear why he's not been fighting the elite, you know, because it's pretty obvious. It's pretty obvious that he's not, you know, some people were comparing him to Edgar Berlanga. No, he's better than Berlanga. He's better than Berlanga. There's no doubt about it. You know, he has definitely got more to his game than Berlanga. He's got some power. He's got, you know, he can push his punches. He's pretty fast with his hands. But it's a bit disjointed to me. I think Eric Morales has got his work cut out with Munguia. I think he's got to improve his boxing skills because you can't just be a brawler and be successful against some of the elite. You have to have more than that. You have to have a bit of boxing ability. He seems like he's got poor IQ as well. So he needs a lot of work. He needs a lot of work. And look. I actually think Munguia needs more fights. I think Munguia needs another 3 or 4 or 5 fights, and they need to keep working on his game. I don't think he's ready for the elite. I'll be brutally honest with you. I think Oscar De La Hoya needs to keep getting him fights. A bit better than Jimmy Kelly now, but I don't know whether you stick him in with Charlo or stick him in with Golovkin or guys like that. I think, or Andrade. I don't think those fights go well for him. But again, it might be pressure from the broadcaster now that enough of these poor fights, we need him to step up. But I think he needs a couple of more fights. Even though he's had a lot of fights, I think he's showing that he's still green. He's still young. He's got time on his side. He needs time to grow, in my opinion. I'm not sure Munguia. I'm not sure Munguia is ready for the elite, but you know, you guys might have a different take on it. Maybe it was just styles make fights. Maybe, you know, he might be more successful against Charlo. Maybe he underestimated Jimmy Kelly. Maybe he overlooked Kelly. You know, we don't know. We don't know. But yeah, it wasn't, I think a lot of you would agree with me, it wasn't the greatest performance by Munguia. But the main thing is he got the win. And I think that's all you can do is get the win. And he got the win. He moves on now. Hopefully to a big fight or a bigger fight than Kelly. But leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And now I'm going to move on to talk about Daniel Dubois and Trevor Bryan. I said that this fight wouldn't go past 3 or 4 rounds, and one of you actually went at me in the comment section. Can't remember who it was now. One of you went out and said, Imran, you're talking rubbish. Bryan and no, who was it that said it's a 50-50 fight? Far from a 50-50 fight. It was a mismatch. And I said it would be a mismatch, and I said Daniel Dubois will run through him like a hot knife through butter. And that's what exactly happened. Daniel Dubois run through him. He knocked him out. Bryan's old. And Daniel Dubois beat him easy, like I expected him to. I must say that the event, I don't know where it was put, looked like he had been put on in a wedding venue rather than a boxing arena. It looked really strange. The setup there looked really weird. I didn't understand the environment. Don King, I can't remember the last time Don King put on a show, but Don King hasn't got a lot of fighters now. He's on, you would say on the way out in terms of his promotional days. Obviously, he's old now as well. But, back in the day, Don King was some promoter. He was, he's a legendary promoter. He was probably, in my opinion, the best promoter ever in terms of he knew how to promote a fight. And remember, he did it without social media. He did it with all of that. He was a brilliant promoter. But again, a promoter can only be as good as his fighters. Like, a promoter can promote you, but I do believe that obviously he had also had fighters that he could promote and grow, and he had fighters in the ring that would put on the show, would go in and put in a great performance, like Muhammad Ali, like Mike Tyson. He had those fighters there that he promoted who were great fighters that made his job a lot easier. Also, they also knew how to promote a show as well themselves. So, whoa. I bet you guys heard that, the background noise. I don't know. My window is open, so you might hear some background noise, which I apologize for if you can hear it. But yeah, I was impressed by Dubois, but I knew Dubois would win. I think Dubois now needs to move on to fight a Joseph Parker, Hughie Fury. There's a lot of heavyweights out there. There's also that guy, Hergovich. That's a good fight for Daniel Dubois. Maybe a Joe Joyce rematch down the road. But I'd like to see a fight with Daniel Dubois and Joseph Parker. I think that would be a really, really good fight. I think Joseph Parker, he's got nowhere to go, really. Daniel Dubois, is a good fighter. He came up short against Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce is a serious force himself, so there's no shame in that. I'd really like to see Daniel Dubois and Joe Joyce fight. I think it does. I think it's a brilliant fight. I do. And I think it makes a lot of sense at this point in both their careers. Definitely does for Daniel Dubois. And probably does for Joe Joyce. Also, I know he won the WBA world title as a regular belt, which I think is not a world title, really. I don't really look at the regular belts as world title. Usyk holds the full version, or the proper version. And yeah, so I don't look at Daniel Dubois as a world champion, to be brutally honest with you. And weren't they going to scrap all these regular belts? Weren't the WBA going to scrap all of that? I didn't understand that at all. I think Dubois is a good fighter. He did what he had to do. I thought he'd run through Bryan. Now we just need to see Dubois step up a little bit more now. I know they were trying to ease him back after the Joyce loss, which was fair enough, because I think they probably put him in there too quickly. I think Dubois was probably rushed, and he was being made out to be this wrecking machine and this guy that's going to walk through everybody. But really, when you think about it, I think he was probably rushed. He probably should have been given a few more easier fights. Maybe fights like Trevor Bryan, and then maybe he stepped up slowly. I think Joe Joyce was a very matured fighter who had a lot of amateur experience, who was being fast-tracked. And a lot of people thought Daniel Dubois would beat Joe Joyce. But Joe Joyce was very stubborn, and I think Joe Joyce showed he's got a very good chin. And as soon as, Dubois wasn't able to bang him out of there, and Joe Joyce's chin stood up to his power, Dubois was struggling in that fight. And obviously Joe Joyce jabbed his, I actually think the fight was pretty close. I don't think there was much in it. I think a lot of people make out like Dubois was outclassed or something. He wasn't. It was a very close fight. Joe Joyce, just basically broke Dubois' eye socket, and that was that. I don't think there was much I don't think there was a lot in it, to be honest with you. So I think Dubois gets a lot of stick for that. I think Dubois is a good fighter. I do. I think he's, like I said, another one that I think needs to be polished a little bit more and needs to be given a few more fights. Joseph Parker, reason why I think he can beat Joseph Parker. I do. Joseph Parker's another one, though, that's got a granite chin. So Dubois is not going to be able to bang Joseph Parker out of there. So it's going to be interesting to see, because Joseph Parker's got some boxing ability. So could Joseph Parker outbox Dubois? How will Dubois get on with someone like Joseph Parker, who's got a very good chin that would stand up to his power and is a very good boxer? So how would Dubois deal with that? I would like to see that fight. I really think that would be an interesting fight. Richard Riakporhe got the win as well. He's a good, solid cruiserweight. I've liked Riakporhe, you know, for a while. I think he's a good, solid fighter. I think now he needs... I think he's in a bit of a difficult spot with Riakporhe, because what do? Do they give him a couple of more of these type of fights, or do they step him up against the elite of the division? I think a fight with Lawrence Okoli is massive. You know, I think they've had a few back and forths as well. I think that's a great fight. But again, is Riakporhe ready for that kind of level? Is he ready for a Bradis? Personally, I think maybe the guy that Lawrence Okoli beat, Glowacki, that might be a good fight. Glowacki, Bradis, maybe even a Makabu. If I'm not mistaken, Makabu's the champion. Maybe they could get Riakporhe and Makabu, and then maybe Richard Riakporhe and Lawrence Okoli could fight for a unified, for the unified title. So they could fight for the 2 belts, because I think Okoli has 1 belt, Makabu has 1 belt. Does Bradis have 2? Is Bradis a unified champion? I don't know. I know that Makabu has a belt, Lawrence has a belt, and does Bradis have 2 belts? I'm not sure. But anyway, if they can get that Richard Riakporhe Makabu fight on, then maybe Riakporhe can beat Makabu, which I think he probably can. And then, you know, Riakporhe can fight Lawrence Okoli for 2 belts on the line, which would be great. So, yeah. Or is Lawrence Okoli the unified champion? Lawrence Okoli got 2 belts. No, I think he's got 1. I think he's a world champion. I don't think he's a unified champion. I'm not sure. I don't think he's a unified champion. So yeah, I think he's got 1 belt. So if Lawrence Okoli can, if Richard Riakporhe can fight a Makabu, beat Makabu, then, you know, we got a massive unification fight between Lawrence Okoli and Richard Riakporhe, which I would be very interested in. So maybe, you know, Sky can get a big offer into Makabu. And if I'm not mistaken, Makabu is promoted by Don King. So that's another fight that maybe Don King can be involved in, you know. So yeah, I think a Riakporhe Makabu fight is probably one that they should be looking at if Makabu is still a champion, which I believe he is. And then the winner could probably fight Okoli. And then the winner of that could fight Bradis for all the belts. I think Bradis is a unified champion. I'm pretty sure he's got 2 belts. But regardless, I would like to see Lawrence Okoli and Riakporhe fight. Lawrence Okoli is very big cruiserweight, so I don't know how long he can make the cruiserweight limit for. So I would like to see that fight sooner rather than later, if I'm totally honest with you. And it's a great fight. It is a great fight. Yeah, I'd love to see Riakporhe and Okoli get it on. I think Okoli wins the fight. I think Okoli's a real force. I think he's really big, strong. But Riakporhe's dangerous, and Riakporhe's good as well. So again, it's a good fight. But leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think of the fights. What do you make of my breakdowns of the Munguia, Riakporhe, Dubois fight? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Let me know what you think, guys. And guys, remember to please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.